Hello. So I'm TGH, and so I ran yesterday with Celeste True Ending, and I'm back. Hello, what's up? I'm back with Link's Awakening 2019 Glitchless. So this is a remake of the classic Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening DX that were released for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color in 1993 and 1997, I believe, respectively. Or is it 1998? I don't remember. It was one of those years. All I know is that the original was released in 93. So this is a remake that came out for the Switch just last year, in October of last year. And this is the Glitchless speedrun. Shouldn't take any more than like an hour and 45 minutes, hopefully. So right now I'm going to start a new file. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So, first and foremost, you'll realize that I'm playing in German. Actually, first and foremost, I want to introduce my commentator. I'm very sorry for not introducing you first.
Just over here twiddling my thumbs.
But yeah, so commentating with me, I have V X Ice Blue.
The X is silent, but yes,
oh,
hi.
Okay. Sice Blue. All right, I got it. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, so you might have noticed that I'm playing in German. German is in fact the fastest language for this game, if you can believe that. So I believe it's actually the same in Breath of the Wild, but yeah, so since you can skip text instantaneously in this game, so the only thing that matters for text speed is the amount of text boxes. So that's what we go by, and German just so happens to have the fewest amount of text boxes, not because of the language itself, but just because of the way it's formatted. It's actually kind of neat. So we're gonna get the sword.
Another thing that TJ mentioned, for those who used to run the game when they first came out, we used to do a thing called RNG manipulation. We no longer have to do that. We've since adjusted the rule set for it to where you can now just have a pre-made file. You just have to show the Switch start screen before, starting each run.
Yeah, well, you still do have to show the start screen, but you no longer have to manipulate.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can manipulate. You just make it into that one save file, and you're good to go.
Yep. Yeah, like due to complications, like before we actually found manipulation, so preloaded files or preloading is banned, but pre-made files are not. So we just have a pre-made file, and it has the same egg pattern every time, so we don't have to actually complete the trade sequence. We do a little bit of trade sequence in this run though, because we need the bananas to give to Kiki the monkey. No relation to the Kiki from Link to the Past. By the way, how good was that crowd control seed for Cynic and Rywick? That was pretty funny because I called it. They had everything in like Kakariko, basically, and then I was like, you guys know, like, this is randomizer, right? You guys know this is randomizer. You know what randomizer does? It gives you all the stuff early or late, and never both. Never, ever, ever both.
Yeah, yeah. TJ and I were talking, and I was like, dude, it's gonna be Mirror on Laser Bridge, and sure enough, it was Mirror on Laser Bridge. So beginning of this run is a little bit slow, slow paced. We're just here collecting some money. We need these rupees to do the trendy game, to get the first part of the trade sequence, which is the Yoshi doll. We need to do about 4 or 5 steps of the trade sequence in order to get to Candlelit Castle to unlock Dungeon 3.
Yeah, this is a game where like there are multiple points throughout it where you have to actually remind yourself that this is a Zelda game and not a Mario game. There are a lot of Mario references throughout this game. And also some outside Nintendo references, like Kirby makes an appearance in this game, except I think he's called like Anti-Kirby or something, and like in Dungeon 7 we don't actually see him anywhere in the run, but which is unfortunate.
I could probably get the name for that enemy.
Yeah, so we went and got the mushroom in the forest and traded it to the witch for the powder, and now we're going to use this powder to get the tail key by sprinkling it on a raccoon over here, which turns out to be Taryn, who was the father of Marin, who's the girl who found you on the beach and who was beside you when you wake up to start the game. I don't know how Taryn became this raccoon, but yeah, I don't know. It's up for interpretation, I guess.
I think he actually tells you that he was eating like mushrooms in the forest and he turned into a tanuki. At least that's what he says in the original.
I don't know if I buy that. I think Taryn's hiding a dark secret, actually.
Other than the backpack of mushrooms on his back.
It's like, look, I've eaten plenty of mushrooms, and none of them have turned me into a raccoon. I don't know, it's a dream, whatever. Oh, hello there. So before I actually go into D1, we call the dungeons like D insert number here, in order to like denote the actual like dungeon. So before I enter D1, known as Tail Cave, we need to go do the trendy game. So everybody's favorite mini game in this game, and by favorite I mean, God, screw this. So we're gonna.
I was gonna say my favorite mini game is the shopkeeper. You know, take an item,
right.
get murdered.
I'm a little off center. I'm honestly a little worried that this is gonna miss. Ugh. Yeah, we missed it. Wow. So yeah, this game can be kind of a troll. Luckily, he's actually easier to grab when he's on his side, though. Or is he? Oh, okay.
Hey, we take those.
Oh, I pressed yes. Whoops. Okay, so... Alright, so that might be a problem with rupees. I pressed yes instead of no to the, the next trendy game. So I have to go through this animation again.
If you think you're going to be short on
you know
rupees,
what? Yeah, I should get the purple, actually.
I mean, honestly, you could probably just get the ones in D2.
I'm getting the purple.
Chat. Now, if you miss these...
Please don't fall out. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, now we're like a minute behind. Okay, we're good. So yeah, that's trendy game, everyone. We got a little extra as well as a some bonus content.
We got to play the favorite minigame twice.
I should have just cleared it out, gotten the heart piece and everything. Alright, so now that we've gotten Yoshi, we're gonna immediately trade it up here for the ribbon. So luckily the trade sequence actually like ends before Dungeon 3. So we don't need to worry about like actually trading all the way up to the magnifying lens, which ordinarily allows you to find out what the egg path is by going to the library. But yeah, we're just not going to do that. Instead, we're going to skip more than half the trading sequence.
Because we already know the egg path.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're totally right, Ice. I could have just gotten the rupees in Dungeon 2. Whatever. We have some extras now.
So in this universe, you trade, you know, pretty ribbon for a can of dog food.
Yep.
Which we don't even give to a dog.
Yeah, funny enough, actually.
Instead, we feed an alligator with it. This game has some very interesting animals.
Yes, it does. It's just an interesting game in general. It's honestly a really, really, really good game. It's like my... Probably actually my favorite 2D Zelda.
It's almost like this game just doesn't even exist.
It's very true. Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers? Where?
Alright, so we've entered Dungeon 1, Tail Cave. Or at least in English, it's Tail Cave. Do not ask me to pronounce the German name.
Wormpalast.
So dungeon is pretty straightforward. We're gonna get a pretty important item in this dungeon, known as Rock's Feather, which is gonna allow us, it's gonna basically give us a jump button.
And the game, you know, the game never tells us who Rock actually is.
Rock is, oh. Nice. I didn't even see him shaking. Rock, I think, is like some mythical creature that's like outside the Zelda universe. I don't know why this particular rock fellow is mentioned in the game, but they could have just called it like the magic feather or something. Like they did with the magic rod. They could have called it like Zeus's rod or something, but nope.
They call it the magic rod, but all it does is create fire.
No, it doesn't even create fire in this game. Well, unless you like light a torch with it. In Zelda 1, it creates fire, but only if you have a book to go with it.
Hey, the book is the best item in Z1.
Is it? Is it though?
It is. Because sometimes in randomizer, it also becomes an atlas for maps.
Oh boy. That's actually interesting. They gave it a separate use in randomizer.
There's actually a couple of different uses for it. Could be a boomstick, could be an atlas map for every dungeon, if you're playing like shapes.
Alright, so we're going to get something called the Nightmare Key right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. If you don't want spoilers, I would recommend muting the stream for like the next 20 seconds. But I will go ahead and spoil the fact that this is all a dream. We're all in the Windfish's dream, and the bosses are all called nightmares. And that's why what we got is called the Nightmare Key, because it's the boss key, and the bosses are nightmares.
Especially the first boss.
Yep. Okay, you can unmute the stream now.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah, totally. Absolutely a nightmare.
So this is Rolling Bones. He just goes down and 8 slashes. Just kind of trap him in the upper corner. End the fight nice and close to the door. And we're going to face a boss that everyone from Link to the Past knows. Except he's taken the form of a burger in this game. So this is Moldorm.
One thing you'll notice when Teach fights Moldorm, he's gonna hit him with the first spin slash, and then he's gonna jump 8 times. What this is more of a visual cue to know when Moldorm is gonna reopen his tail for the next attack.
Yeah, it's a timing mechanism. Yeah, luckily Moldorm is a lot easier in this game than he is in Link to the Past. Thankfully.
Due to the fact there's like barely any pits.
Well, you say that, but I actually was running earlier and I was knocked into a pit by Moldorm earlier. Yeah, I mean, just does that sometimes.
Who hasn't experienced that?
So I want to take a minute, by the way, because I didn't do this when the stream started, but let's see. So later on, Zos is going to be running Super Metroid. And there's a choice incentive for that, so be sure to get your choices in for that. You can choose either low percent ice, any percent, all bosses 100%, or GT Classic for that. So so be sure to get your choices in. I don't know when that starts, or when it ends rather. When it starts, Jesus. I don't know when that incentive ends. I'm not positive. So. But yeah.
What would you prefer to see throughout all those options, Teach?
God, I haven't watched a Super Metroid run in so long. Like I don't really know much about Super Metroid at all. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of low percent ice though.
I was thinking either low percent or 80%, just because 80% has the movement in it is incredible. low percent just is also a feat in itself.
All right, so we trade the dog food to the alligator for the bananas. This is a Zelda game, by the way.
So you have dogs giving you dog food for a ribbon to give to an alligator who gives you a banana.
So
That's Link's Awakening.
So what are we gonna give the bananas to, you may ask? The answer might blow your mind. We're gonna give the bananas to a monkey. Can you believe that? This game is weird. Anyway. So now we're gonna head up to Dungeon 2. And continuing the trend, by the way, of you know, the last marathon run being Link to the Past, continuing that trend of chain chomps being in Zelda games, we're gonna go rescue a creature called Bow Wow, who happens to be a chain chomp and is gonna help us open Dungeon 2. Oh, these guys are being really annoying. That's the heart piece of shame. Don't get that.
I honestly would have laughed.
Hopefully, watch me get out on the way back, I swear.
I was gonna say, you're probably gonna grab it on the way back.
So these moblins, luckily Powder just kind of wipes these guys out completely.
Yeah, Powder received like an actual large buff in this game, it seems.
It's about the same, actually, as the original. And luckily, hopefully, if I can time this correctly, I can get a one cycle with that. Perfect. So, yeah, Moblin can control you sometimes, but that was a really clean fight. And Bow Wow did not lunge at me, but here's our chain chomp. By the way, I'm doing something called auto-loading in dungeons and caves, by the way. So essentially, like, when something important happens, like you open a door, get an item, rescue Bow Wow, for instance, the game auto-saves. And auto-loading is when you just load that autosave in order to get back to the entrance of a dungeon really quickly. Or a cave. It's used quite frequently in some dungeons. Dungeon 6, Dungeon 8. Okay.
And especially in Dungeon 5, too.
Yeah, Dungeon 5 as well. Yep.
When we take down Papyrus for the third time. Hey, you asked me to be here.
Look, we beat Master Stalfos. We beat Master Stalfos 4 times. Okay? We don't lose to him on purpose.
Mispronounced his name. It's Papyrus.
Alright, so Bow Wow eats the flowers in front of D2, and we are on our way in. Dungeon 2, known as Bottle Grotto, because there are a lot of bottles in this grotto. These guys are annoying. There we go. So yeah, like, early game is really just kind of like, you know, saving time where you can, like, lots of frame savers that I'm sort of failing at, but it's okay.
This is probably my favorite Stalfos in the game.
Yeah,
he celebrates
yep.
the key grab with you.
Yep. It's perfect. Say hi to the Shy Guys, by the way.
Totally a Zelda game.
Yes. Alright, so coming up, we are going to fight a creature known as a Hinox. Or Nice. Or Hinox, however you pronounce it. Whatever. So, fun fact, in any percent, we actually really abuse Hinoxes by doing something called a Hinox warp, which is essentially getting damaged and getting grabbed by Hinox on the same frame, and it sends you flying across the dungeon. Oh, that was bad. I missed a bunch of slashes.
That last jump was
yeah, I thought I was holding up left, but I was not, apparently.
So the item that we're going to grab in this dungeon is going to be super helpful throughout the rest of the game. The power bracelet is going to allow us to pick up, you know, the pots, rocks, things like that in order to progress. Say hi to the booze as well.
Yep.
Totally a Zelda game.
Responding to a comment in chat, by the way, any dungeon is better than Tower of Hera. Take it from a fellow Link to the Past speedrunner as well. Hera's the worst split in that game. Like, bar none. Okay, so this room, you actually have to kill these 3 enemies in a certain order. You have to kill the Pulse Voice first, the Keys second, and the Stalfos last. So you might be wondering, how do you know that? Like, how are you supposed to figure that out? Well, the game actually hints at it. There are items in each dungeon called the Stone Beak that you find. So you take the Stone Beak to the, like, owl statues without mouths or without beaks, and they actually give you a hint as to how to progress in some rooms. Nice rupee count.
Nice.
See, I told you there was a reason. I told you there was a reason for doing trendy game 3 times.
It is a very nice count. So coming up, we're going to have probably the worst boss in the game. You spend more time listening to this boss's conversation than you do actually fighting this boss.
This boss is exhilarating, trust me. So, Glitchless and 100% are the only 2 categories where you don't skip this boss outright. So yeah, in any percent, we use the Hinox near the middle of the dungeon to actually just warp straight to the instrument. In any percent no Hinox warp, which is a category by the way, you can skip this boss with the boots. So we do like the first half of dungeon 2, and then we come back later with the boots and we skip him. And yeah, so here we have a rare genie fight. So yeah, basically, like, he throws fireballs at you, and then he tries to charge at you for some reason. It's kind of dumb. And then you slash him with a sword, throw him against the wall, do that 3 times, and then eventually he's going to break open. And then starts what actually is kind of a fun phase. So I'm going to be listening for the sound to die out, and then looking for the actual silhouette that's farthest from me, and just charging that and slashing it both times.
Actually got him in a really nice spot.
What's that? Sorry?
You actually killed him in a really nice spot. He's like right in front of the door.
Yeah. So I didn't grab that heart container. You can grab the heart containers. You're actually forced to in the original. You're forced to get every heart container that a boss gives you, but in this game you can skip them, which is nice for... It's a nice little risk-reward sort of deal. I typically go with 5 hearts in glitchless runs, but yeah, I think I'll probably go with 5. See, this game actually is really generous with health because of the fact this game's really generous with health. If you're low on health, if you're in a pinch, in other words, if your health is beeping, the grass, like if you slash a patch of grass, it has a 75% chance to drop a heart.
Okay, sorry about that. I had my 5-year-old come in.
Oh, you're fine. No worries.
She's got this habit now because she watched Dark Knight, and now she's going around saying, "Don't play games with me, Joker," in Batman's voice.
That's actually phenomenal. So anyway, we since this is glitchless and we actually need to return Bow Wow, unfortunately. In any percent, you actually don't get Bow Wow at all. You skip Bow Wow in a trick that is aptly named Bow Wow Skip. So that involves grabbing a Kuko from Mabe Village, which is the little chicken-looking thing that you just saw in the upper left there. I think I'm buying 30 bombs.
Yeah, it's effectively use a Kuko and a like, and it basically the hit detection from when the like launches you up knocks you into the Kuko, and it makes Link boost at an angle on top of a tree, and you just walk along the trees, jump on the coral reef, and then you can just jump directly into D2.
It's a really funny looking trick when executed. It's also like really pretty consistent for how it sounds. Like it's actually pretty easy. Like if you stand in a certain spot,
the lineup is like actually pretty lenient.
Yeah. All right, so we just stole from the shopkeeper, which is not a glitch. It is in fact an intended mechanic. You are allowed to steal from the shopkeeper, as long as you resign to the fact that you are going to die if you re-enter the shop, which we took a death. Nice damage boost, okay. So yeah, we just kind of like stole something and died. That's all. So yeah, now
this game actually teaches you if you steal from shops, you literally die.
Oops, I said no to Kiki.
So apparently
Kiki, no bananas for you.
Apparently Tej is he's being a little greedy. He wanted the banana for himself.
This is how mean I am. I walked up to a monkey, feigned offering bananas, and then just said no. That's pretty mean. Link is kind of a jerk in this game. But anyway, onward to Candlelight Castle.
We didn't pick up a stick. According to the game, we picked up a stock.
A stock. All right, so Candlelight Castle is pretty interesting. So
this part of the game, I have no idea what this is. I've never seen this area. I think I might have to download the DLC for the game. I don't know. It's very new to me, and I don't recognize any of the surroundings. It's whenever I look at the map, it's just a big dark gray area, and I don't know what it is.
This guy's all up in my face. This guy does not like me at all. There we go. Okay. He really wanted me there. Alright. Now we're in. So Candlelight Castle is actually a really cool place to show off what bomb arrows can do. So if you just press... this is actually a pretty... this is the first Zelda game, well the original was. The first Zelda game to showcase bomb arrows, which were later brought back in Twilight Princess, I think. So I'm actually gonna... Since I want my arrows. Arrows are kind of precious in this run. Like, my arrow count is super tight throughout this run, so I do want to save some arrows, so I won't be using them everywhere I can. Like, it would have been faster there to use one, but...
I think you get, like, what, an extra 2 arrows in the glitchless route?
Yeah, I'll be using 2 here, though. There we go. So that's actually, that particular strat right there is pretty precise on the Y pixel. So you need, or the Y position, I should say, the up and down position. You need to stand in a very precise range of Y coordinates in order to get that to work, in order to be high enough so that you actually explode the wall, and low enough so that you don't miss the brazier.
To answer the question from Dimension in the chat, yeah, any percent we don't even touch Candlelight Castle.
Yep.
We actually utilize one of the pincers that comes out of the pits. We stun it with the powder, and then we walk on top of it and jump on top trees, and we just go grab the slime key.
Yeah, there are like 3 different ways to actually skip Candlelight Castle at any percent, but we do the pincer way because it's the fastest, and Also, probably the most consistent. So I did 2 bomb arrows there and 1 regular arrow to finish off that that guard that gave me the last golden leaf.
I think what, the bomb arrows do 4? And
Yeah,
then the
bomb arrows do twice the damage to most enemies in the game. There are some exceptions, like Landmola is an exception. Landmola bomb arrows and arrows do the same damage, but you want to use bomb arrows anyway, since the splash damage, or the range is wider for bomb arrows to hit. Alright, so now we go see Richard, and first Richard's gonna be like, hey, I want you to go get my golden leaves. And then we say yes. And then we talk to him again, and we're like, hey, I found them. And he's like, and then he lets you go.
He says something else, but...
I love Richard's voice bites. So all this, by the way, is in order to get the Dungeon 3 key, which is hidden in the ground here. Right here. So that's the Dungeon 3 key. It has a giant eye on it.
Yeah, usually we call that pothole maze, but we maybe see like 3 or 4 potholes. One thing you'll notice, a big quality of life change from the original LA and LADX, is that they added a rock directly to the left of the slime key dig spot. So you actually don't have to leave through pothole maze and leave through the cave. You can actually just lift up the rock and just walk right out and open the dungeon.
One of a bunch of little quality of life gameplay changes that this remake brings to the table that the original didn't have. Although I do want to bring up one point that irks me. So a bunch of dungeons in this game have keys that open them. So Tail Cave has the Tail key. Angler Tunnel has the Angler key. What else is there? Eagle Tower has the Eagle key. You want to know what that key is called? D3 is called Key Cavern. You want to know what that key is called? Slime Key.
Well, I think it's more based off of the bosses themselves, not the keys.
I guess.
The boss of D3 is a slime.
And the boss of D1 is a tail, apparently.
And the boss of D7 is an eagle.
But the boss of D1 is a tail.
Yes, Moldorm has a tail.
Why is it not called Moldorm Key? Or Mold Key, or Worm Key, or something? It doesn't make any sense. The inconsistency irks me. Anyway, so we're in Dungeon 3 now. Nice acorn. That's fantastic. I've never seen an acorn drop in that room. So acorns drop when you get 15 consecutive kills without taking damage, because the game figures what better reward for someone who's really good at not taking damage than something that halves your damage and gives you better defense. Makes a lot of sense, right? And that right there is a piece of power. Piece of power is dropped every 32 plus the amount of max heart containers you have kills you get. So both of them are kill count based. So technically avoidable, but still a pain and still will inevitably affect your run.
We actually used, well, not for the Gltchless route, but sometimes you'll see a couple runners actually keeping count of a piece of power. Because we do have to make a purchase in the 80% route for a Tracy potion, and we need to know that the kill count is on a specific count, like even or an even number, I believe, in order to get the cheaper Tracy potion. So a lot of the runners do keep count of where their piece of power is going to drop, because piece of power, you know, at 4 hearts will be 36.
Oh.
So we'll know that we're on an even count.
I forgot what category I was running for a second. I went to equip bomb arrows and yeah, the wall was already open. Because you save the arrow in this category.
Another big quality of life change that they have with this game, you can actually control your dash. Like, instead of it just being like a straight dash, you can actually move up and down.
Yeah, you can strafe
it, which makes it really nice.
Also, you might see me canceling my dashes in a couple of different ways. So the slowest but most controllable way to actually cancel a dash is by slashing your sword, like what I'm about to do right here. But there are two other ways to do it that are about equal in speed. They are to jump out of a dash, because when you land on the ground, you only stop for 4 frames. Whereas if you slash your sword, you stop for 10. So effectively, jumping is 6 frames faster than using your sword to slash, to cancel a dash. And also just stopping by using the control stick is about the same speed. So like if you hold like in the opposite or perpendicular direction or something in the midst of a dash, you will just stop the dash. Ugh. God, these guys are a pain.
Their room in general is just a pain.
Yeah, like Boots movement in this game really feels super good after you get used to it a little bit. It does take some getting used to it, especially if you've played the original. Funny enough, the other day, I went back to play the original to do a randomizer for the first time. It went about as bad as you'd expect. But
also there's a thwomp and a piranha plant.
Yes.
Definitely a Zelda game.
Definitely a Zelda game. But yeah, I went back to the original and I was like taken aback by how the Boots movement felt. I'm like, oh my god, this feels terrible. Like, I can only dash in a straight line. What is this? So this is Good Result. So you slash them 4 times, dash through the middle.
You're gonna see Teach take damage when the last eye drops. That's basically just to save a few frames.
Yeah.
To buffer the dash quicker.
So the heart should appear in front of me. So I killed Slimeye. That's his English name. I killed Slimeye in around the middle of the room. I could have killed him higher, but the heart container that spawns in actually pretty much every boss room, like, tends to want to spawn away from you. It's weird. Like, what?
I was gonna say, I think the game actually got spawned. Uh-oh.
Hang on 1 second. Sorry about this.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I don't know what that was about. But my controller just disconnected mid-run. But we back.
Yeah, I think heart containers spawn in every boss room, Teach.
Well, yeah. Did I imply otherwise? Unintentionally?
Kinda.
Whoops.
Kinda.
So yeah, on the few bosses that heart containers actually spawn, they'll tend to spawn away from you. Like they like at all costs, they will not spawn on top of you for whatever reason. They won't spawn like inside you. So it's better in that case, if you do want to grab the D3 heart, to go ahead and like kill Slimeye lower in the room, so that the heart spawns above you and not below you. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and unlock this. Unlock that right there. That's gonna be a warp spot. That's gonna be a pretty popular warp spot actually later.
That's like the hottest spot in town.
Well, actually in Glitchless it's not that. It saves like 10 seconds in Glitchless to get that. But in any percent and no Hinox warp, that's like the main hub for like the southeastern part of the world. Whoops.
So yeah, we're gonna head over to Animal Village. We gotta go introduce ourselves to a walrus who's asleep, and he literally doesn't say anything. He just gives you a thought bubble of Marin.
Yep.
And then that triggers Marin to leave it sends Marin like a brain signal to tell her to leave the statue in Mabe Village to go stand on the beach and wait for Link.
It sends Marin a brain signal. Walrus communicates with Marin telepathically. I like it. I like the headcanon ice.
Yeah.
But first, we're gonna go get the ocarina, because, yeah, we're gonna become Leonardo DiCaprio here for a bit, and dream within a dream. This is literally a dream within a dream. I don't know.
I'm gonna step away from the call forever now. No, I'm just kidding.
Can't say I blame you.
Look, as long as he doesn't try to hold Marin at the head of the ship, I think we're good.
Alright, so we got the ocarina. That's gonna prove to be pretty useful for us later on. And by later on, I mean in about 2 minutes. So we're gonna execute some pretty tight movement here.
Now you could stop and read a book.
Could. Won't. But could. You can technically do that. It's not banned from the speedrun. Alright, so we're gonna have our little Marin date on the beach. This is basically just a lot of
Marin is the best girl, even if she is a bird.
This is basically just a lot of text mashing, and there's one part during the conversation where I have to make sure I say yes, or else she'll say everything again. So
I'm trying to think what game it's like. Oh yeah, it's like Ocarina of Time, like when you're talking to the owl. Did you get all that? And then they put the yes option at the bottom, so you guaranteed to say no.
Well, they want to make sure you get all the information. They're just looking out for you.
Yes, on every other text box in that game is the first option. When you're talking to the owl, it's the second option. Alright, so now Marin's gonna follow us around. She also makes this really nice jump without boots. It's really cool.
Yes. And you'll notice the overworld music has changed as well. To be a little wind-based arrangement of the overworld theme. Alright, so now that we have Marin's gonna sing and wake up the walrus, and we're gonna go get the Dungeon 4 key afterwards. I like this rendition of the song as well. Shout out to the walrus.
I'd like to point out that Weighty Words just said in chat, no one's ever thrown a PV pace saying no to her.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Nobody's ever done that.
If you haven't listened to Marin sing the Bow to the Windfish twice in a run, you actually haven't speedrun the game. You're just playing it casually.
Alright, so I'm actually pretty good on arrow count. So let's see if I can one-cycle this. I need a good spawn, though. Ugh, that's not a good one. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that go. Hopefully one more cycle.
I think Lambo is one of the few enemies in the game that actually doesn't have like iframe.
I need to make sure I grab this key before it falls down. Alright, got it. Cool. That was a little close. We're good.
So a big quality of life change. You actually don't move when you pick up the angler key. Like in the original, where it just moves you into the center of the pit. So right when you get the angler key in the original LA, you just fall into the pit.
You can avoid falling in the pit, but it required actually a pretty strange setup in the speedrun, I remember. I used an audio cue to avoid falling down.
Alright, so we're not going to talk while we listen to the song.
I'm a big fan of the bird on the left. And we said yes to Marin. Let's go. Awesome.
Mouth wide open and everything.
Yep.
Just completely enjoying the show.
Alright, so that's the Ballad of the Windfish that we just learned from Marin. Ballad of the Windfish has actually 2 uses in this run. One is to open the Windfish egg at the end of the run. And 2 is to kill a room full of enemies in Dungeon 6.
So those enemies, actually, if you were familiar with Zelda 1, and you've played through the entire game casually, there is a hint that the old man gives you in Zelda 1 that says Pole's voice dislike a certain kind of music. Well, apparently they dislike Marin. So if you play Ballad of the Windfish on your ocarina, it actually just insta-kills all the Pole's voice in a room.
I think there was also one that says Dig Dogger dislikes certain kinds of sound.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. And that refers to the recorder, playing the recorder, like, during his fight, and that's, like, the secret to breaking it apart and being able to defeat it. I actually didn't know about the Pole's voice one, though.
So it's actually, it's not like an actual feature in Zelda 1, like, to where it does that.
Oh, I see.
They did actually introduce that feature in BS Legend of Zelda.
Oh, interesting.
The one that's on the the Satellaview, to where if you play the flute, it actually kills the Pole's voices.
Yeah, I remember in Z1, like, you can, like, the main enemy, or the main weakness of Pole's voices is arrows. Like, arrows just basically go right through them, right?
Yep.
And I also remember, so when you, what is it? When you, like, on the Famicom, if you yell into the second controller, like, it has a microphone and it kills the Pole's voices that way too. I don't know if that was just a myth or if that was, like, something truthful.
That was actually a thing. It was like you needed like a special kind of controller and a special kind of, I think it was like a special like version of the game. And like, yeah, you literally had to yell into the microphone of the controller to kill Pole's voice.
Oh, by the way, coming up, we're actually going to do a pretty big skip that totally isn't a glitch. By the way, this skip coming up is not a glitch. And we mean that truthfully. It is actually not a glitch. It's an exploit of game mechanics and also just of level design. So right here, I'm gonna face a certain way by skewing. We'll explain skewing in a bit. I'm gonna face a certain way.
So visual cue, we have a specific spot for visual cue where the sword comes out of the rock to know that we're on the right angle of the skew. And then we have to move back like a couple of a frame, move up a couple of frames.
Yep, so that's what it looks like.
In order to get like the actual position that we need to place that bomb. And then with a couple of well-timed sword slashes, and then a dash jump, and a sword slash down while in the middle of the jump, the bomb blast will knock you into the other side.
That was a pretty clean cue ball fight as well. So yeah, like if you've seen a Link to the Past speedrun, no major glitches. If you've seen like an Ocarina of Time glitchless speedrun, that's basically the same concept. Like you're basically using the knockback from a bomb to get over a gap you're not supposed to. Alright, so we're actually gonna leave Dungeon 4. So if we finish Dungeon 4 right now, we get a side quest with the ghost that follows you around and like asks you every 2 minutes or something to bring it to its home, and also does not allow you to enter any dungeons. So we save Dungeon 4, or finishing Dungeon 4 for last, so that we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, skipping that literally saves you like 9 years.
Pretty much. Probably about 4 or 5 minutes, actually. Like, it's substantial. The cutscene alone, where the ghost is, like, searching the house on the beach, takes, like, 5 minutes itself. Of course, that's a hyperbole. It's not actually 5 minutes, but it feels like 5 minutes.
I don't know if these donations have been read out, but I will read these three out. We have a $10 donation from Tyrenan DH. Amazing marathon. Put my donation towards saving the animals. We have a $5 donation from HammerBro34. Says save the animals. And then we have a $20 donation from Butts McGee. It just says 100% smiley face.
Thank you guys very much for the donations for a really good cause.
Yeah. Also, just to let you guys know that are just tuning in, if y'all are interested in making donations towards this, we do have a few incentives for everything. You can actually put your donations towards the Super Metroid run that Zeus is doing tonight. You have 5 different options. You have low percent ice, any percent, all bosses, 100%, or GT Classic. So if you were planning on donating, make sure you put those donations towards that. And then also make sure you put your donations towards either saving the animals or killing them.
I took damage on purpose right there, by the way, in order to avoid an acorn dropping in my way. Because that is a very common problem in this maze. You can kill a lot of things, and if you don't get hit during any of it, you're bound to get an acorn drop.
To answer the question in chat, why is he playing the game in German? Just because German text is faster. The text comes at, it's a full text box instead of like actually just like reading out the text. So with German having the fewest amount of words per text box, it makes things easier to mash.
Okay, so right now we're actually getting the Dungeon 6 key, the face key. Nice little smiley face. So we're doing this before Dungeon 5, for the reason being, it's actually very, very, very slightly faster. A rabbit in Animal Village that ordinarily is standing on the stone path, that's like the easiest to go down, is not there when you do this before Dungeon 5. It saves like maybe 1/10 of a second. But you can do that in any order you want. So just do it now. Might as well save the 1/10 of a second. It also makes it a little bit more possible to get a piece of power drop in this dungeon just because of the way the kill routing works out. I have not been keeping count of kills, like, literally at all, because this is a marathon, and I can't say I care that much about kill count right now. But there is a chance...
explaining the route rather than keeping kill count.
Yeah, there's a chance, though, that piece of power will drop right before the boss, which is where it's, like, undoubtedly the most useful for in the entire run.
I'm probably going to get kicked out of the voice call for this, but be prepared soon. We're going to get a special appearance. There's your piece of power, by the way.
Perfect.
We're going to get a special appearance from a very familiar face from Undertale.
Look, I won't kick you out of the voice call, but okay, you know what? Maybe I will, actually.
So, all right, riddle me this, Teach. How many times do you have to fight Papyrus?
Look, I've explained this to you. You lose to Papyrus 3 times in Undertale. You beat Master Stalfos 3 times.
No, you lose to him because he runs.
I dare say I don't see the resemblance.
This is definitely Papyrus. You lose to Papyrus before 3 times before the 4th fight where he lets you move on.
Look, I guess the next thing you're gonna say is that the D7 mini-boss is Sans.
That is Sans.
I give up.
The signs are all there.
I give up. I give up. So anyway, yeah, you fight this guy 4 times, and the 4th time he finally gives you the hook shot.
Look, even this boss says, yeah, it's Papyrus.
It's actually pretty fun to optimize that fight, because like the object is to get as close to the door as you can, like when the fight is over. And just like figuring out how to do that is fun. Whoops.
Nice.
You know what else is fun? Not falling in the holes. Alright, so after this fight, we're just gonna auto-load. There's nothing in the next room. So way back where I got the first key in the dungeon, that's where the last Master Stealth Ghost fight is.
Fires. I just look and I see T shaking his head.
Oh, you sense my disapproval. Oh, is that so? Is that so?
You will. I will get you to call him Papyrus, one way or another.
I mean, I've already called him Papyrus.
If Shay were here, Shay would understand. Shoutouts to Shay.
I still don't know who Joe is. Anyway, here we have the hook shot. So the hook shot is going to allow us to, well, you've played a Zelda game before, haven't you? The hook shot allows you to grip onto a lot of things. We only use it a couple times in this run, though. But we're gonna use it right now in order to get the nightmare key, and then we're gonna use it to get to the boss. But it's another exploit, kind of like the D4 bomb jump that I did, except it's not a bomb jump. But it does involve skewing. I think that would be
our opportunity to explain, skewing.
Yeah, I was about to
so skewing, basically, since the game allows you to, you're not on like just like a 4-direction cardinal. You can actually kind of like angle yourself with jumping. The game allows you to use the feather to jump, and you can actually change your angle like slightly, like in slight increments, in order to, you can use the hook shot at like a 60-degree angle instead of like a 45-degree angle. And we utilize that to use the hook shot to essentially skip a key. Right before the nightmare key, the nightmare door, and we call that the D5 skew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've kind of given up on the piece of power. It dropped in a really unfavorable spot earlier, so I'm just not going to worry about it. Okay, so it's right here. Let's see if we can get it. Nice. That was perfect. That was, like, actually perfect.
Yeah, I don't think they could have been any faster.
Alright, so say hello to Slime Eel, who is,
the second worst boss in the game.
A boss. It is definitely a boss. Very RNG-heavy boss. So, on the first pull, we're going to try and get as many hits as we can, and then we're just going to pray for no fakes and no impossible pulls. Like, you can spawn at any hole in any corner, and we just kind of have to pray that it's favorable. This is a good start.
It's 16 hits to KO this boss, unless you have Piece of Power, and then it's 8.
We got 13 on the first one. And, yep, that's pretty good. I also
that fight couldn't, that fight went really well.
I would have bonked. Alright, so that's Dungeon 5. So now, we have the Dungeon 6 key, so we can just go straight to Dungeon 6. We're going to warp to the Seashell Mansion warp that we dug up earlier. The one that saves, like, it's either 10 or 15 seconds. I don't know, but we're gonna go there, and then we're gonna enter Dungeon 6, which is my favorite dungeon in the game. Because of a lot of things. The music, the strats involved, especially in any percent, actually.
Genie is the worst boss, to answer the question in chat.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Genie is like... Yeah, I don't really consider Genie like a boss anymore, to be honest.
So just to kind of mimic what Teach said, this is my favorite dungeon in the game. It has the most relaxing music, and it's overall it's just a very smooth dungeon. You will be making facade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will, definitely.
Perfect.
Whoops, that's the wrong direction. So yeah, Dungeon 6, like especially with its aesthetic and music, is like the part of the game where like you start to realize just how dark this game actually is. Like so in the D6 Southern Shrine where you get the face key, there's a mural in the back of it, which essentially is what tells you that, you know, you're inside a dream. Okay, that works. And it gets like really feelsy from here on out.
As far as chat, so the reason we run it in German, so every dungeon that you collect an instrument, so 8 instruments, in German there's only 1 text box. In English and every other language, I believe, except for there's one other language that has only 1 text box. Everything else is 2 text boxes. There's also a bunch of fewer text boxes on each conversation you have, like with Tim and Tam Tam, I think their names are.
Yeah.
There's 1 less text box, you know, for each person you speak to that you have to speak to. There's 1 or 2 less text boxes, so it saves proportionately like over a minute, 2 minutes over the entire like run itself, just from sheer time save and less text boxes.
So that room right there gave me kind of bad RNG though. The anti-fairy in that room can either go down left or down right. Down right is favorable because you can actually just bomb arrow the anti-fairy as it comes back into a certain spot and kill both of the wizards there in one fell swoop. But in that situation where he went down left, I had to place a bomb and then just stun them with the hook shot. So it loses time in that room and also loses me an equip. So I could have saved an equip by just keeping bomb arrows equipped here, but instead now I have to re-equip the arrows to fight Smasher. Oh. Nice. Also, nice piece of power drop that I didn't get.
Question in chat. Teach, what do you think the worst dungeon is?
Dungeon.
Discounting the boss.
I would say Dungeon 3. Dungeon 3 is not my favorite.
There's a lot of backtracking in Dungeon 3, yeah. I'd probably have to say Eagle Tower is my least favorite.
I like Eagle Tower in like Glitchless and No Hinox Warp, personally. In other words, the categories we actually do the dungeon in. So we went in some interesting routing, by the way, in Dungeon 6. We went and fought Smasher, which is the mini-boss, first, in order to get the warp, and then went back for the key. And that allows us to just take the warp straight here afterwards, after auto-loading. It only saves a few seconds, but it's some interesting routing. So it is actually faster in this room to destroy all of the tiles that pop up and start flying at you as soon as you can.
I think it just matters if you destroy the last one perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. You just... I think... No, I think as long as, like, on that screen specifically, as long as there's a tile flying, it won't actually, like, trigger. Some weird throwing mechanics in this screen. You can just throw both of those chess pieces from the corner. Those work like actual chess pieces, by the way. It's pretty cool.
I think that's
big upgrade.
My favorite quality of life change for that is...
Yeah.
I'm not relying on pure luck just to get those to land.
Oh yeah, so we play the Battle of the Windfish here to kill these Pulse Boys. Goodbye.
You could also try and yell
like
at your microphone. Might work.
Guess who's back? It's the Dodongo Snakes from Dungeon 3. Oh, he might not eat that. Nope, he didn't. Really good mini-boss right here. 2...
10 out of 10.
3. Oh, what is he gonna do? Oh, okay, he went that way? Okay. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna grab this fairy. Didn't like my particular health.
Yeah, no. Not for Facade.
One thing about taking damage in that fight, though, is that you know for sure an acorn won't drop on that star. So I was just able to, like, outright kill him and not have to worry about, like, avoiding him.
So that Nightmare Key chest, you do have to throw a pot at it to open it.
Yep.
Apparently the lock is stuck on it. And only, you know, bludgeoning it to death.
I have no idea, honestly. I just know that the owl statue that I mentioned in D2, like, tells you that. If you get the stone beak. Alright, so Facade, the dungeon boss for Dungeon 6, is really, really cool, actually. So you're supposed to, like, lay bombs on the floor to damage him, but these tiles that fly around, you're able to bomb arrow those. So we do that instead. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that.
I was about to say, where's it gonna be?
I was too busy being informative. But anyway, so yeah, it's a really cool fight. I'm able to do it properly.
So with this fight, if you actually fire the bomb arrows too fast, you can miss his actual frame of being hit, and
Yeah,
essentially put an arrow and a bomb.
You do have to wait a little bit, so as not to fire before he's actually vulnerable. But that was actually a really good fight.
Yeah, that was a very, very good fight.
Yeah.
There are a couple of backups for his spawns. Like if he spawns in a really weird place where you can't like actually shoot a tile, you can actually use one of the pots. You can use the door itself, like the northern door, to hit him. So there are a few backups.
All right, so I was like, pretty soon we're gonna get the rooster, and I was like, wait until you see what we can do with the rooster, and I'm like, oh, this is glitchless. Never mind.
Wait till you see what we could do with the rooster. We could play the game as intended.
But yeah, so in any percent, you can do some crazy stuff with the rooster. In glitchless, we have to abide by the rules, unfortunately. But yeah, so we do get to see more of the game that way, and we get to actually see like the network of caves that leads to Dungeon 7, which we don't see in any percent.
So this is Signpost Maze. It's a maze.
It is indeed a maze.
Of signposts.
Nice hole you have there. Okay. So yeah, the purpose of doing all this is to get the Frog Song of Soul. Was also the purpose of getting the 300 rupee chest in Dungeon 3, because for whatever reason, they're charging 300 rupees for this concert. It's a good concert though, you'll enjoy it.
It's alright, first off, it's front row seats.
It is front row seats, yeah, it's true.
It's a very rare and exquisite concert that so you may have wondered what happened to Wart after Super Mario Bros. 2 when you know force fed him like 850 different vegetables. Well, he became a vocalist, and we're gonna listen to his concert.
Bravo. Encore. Except not encore. Encores are slow. Okay, so now that we have that song in our inventory, we can now perform necromancy.
Because what else can't Link do? We can.
Oh, you thought I was joking. You thought I was joking about the necromancy. No. Nope, we're about to wake up a dead rooster. Enjoy.
So you have all these things that Link can do. He can go inside of a dream within a dream. He can wake up the dead.
This game is great. So from here, I'm actually going to warp up to Dampé's Shack warp, and then we're actually going to get to see some caves.
Oh, so all you Sonic fans out there, we welcome in the Blue Flicky.
Indeed, giant blue flicky.
From a certain angle, like if you're looking like down, like when you first awaken the Flicky, it looks like the Flicky has like a nice chin strap. It's actually kind of funny. It's been a while since he's shaved.
Also, nice little optimization there. So you saw me jump and swing my sword up at the ladder. So swinging your sword after you jump out of a dash is the only way to get Link to actually like change like orientation of direction. So in the air, if you do that in the air, you can grab a ladder. And it's nice. Yeah, little time savers like that are really important in Gltchless for optimizing. Also say hi to Papal. Unfortunately, he won't be getting his pineapple today.
Forever hungry. But it's okay though, Paul. You don't even really exist.
Don't blame me.
Nice
blame RNG manipulation.
Nice bog.
Thank you. I worked hard on that punk. Oh, I remembered at the last second to equip the hook shot.
I thought you were about the mambo there.
I almost did. That's a very common mistake I make in Gltchless, because like you have to, in every other category you have the hookshot equipped entering this cave. In this category you don't. You have Mambo equipped with your ocarina, so like you need to actually like menu away from the Mambo. There, I did your favorite dash, Ice.
Thank you.
No problem.
The dash that maybe saves like 1 frame or loses like 5.
Precisely. Please, Link, get out of the cave. Thank you. So, interesting right here. You can just, like, bonk on the wall there. You don't actually have to stop your dash. You just enter the cave. It's cool.
It's kind of unfortunate the game doesn't track how many bonks you have.
Unlike a certain other game.
Yeah. Speaking of certain other games, if you guys are considering donating to this wonderful cause, be sure to make sure to put all your donations towards the Super Metroid run tonight. You have low percent ice, 80%, all bosses, 100%, or GT Classic.
Okay. So now we're gonna enter Dungeon 7.
Dungeon.
Dungeon 7. Don't make fun. We are, however, not going to finish Dungeon 7. Just like D4, we're gonna save Dungeon 7 for after we finish Dungeon 8. Reason being, so finishing Dungeon 7 creates a flag, or it sets a flag for Marin to appear on the bridge over to the west on our way to Dungeon 8. Nice RNG there. So by doing Dungeon 7 after Dungeon 8, we set the flag, but we never end up going in that direction, ever. So we don't have to watch the cutscene, and the cutscene is, like, absurdly long. Like, it actually
Marin
saves
takes,
time.
like, I think Marin takes, like, 50 or so seconds just to walk.
Yeah. But by doing this, we actually save, like, 10 seconds or something.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do pretty much everything we can here. That'll set us up for when we come back to finish the dungeon.
Yep.
The only thing that we'll have to do is fight Sans.
The hookshot, by the way, like, having the hookshot equipped here, like, allows for a lot of little micro optimizations that aren't possible without it. This room is exciting.
I'd also like to point out that Chad is calling you TGH.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. What did I do to deserve this? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. I actually really like this dungeon.
The concept of this dungeon is really nice. It's just also really time consuming.
Yeah. This dungeon takes about a minute and 15 seconds and 90%. Because we do a Hinox warp. A really, really stupidly precise Hinox warp.
Look, hey, it's only double frame perfect, okay? 60 FPS, double frame perfect.
Well, it's single frame perfect with a really, really peculiar and, like, overly extra setup.
It's like, what, to the millionth degree or something like that?
It's like, yeah, it's to like, yeah, pretty much, actually. Oh, I didn't, whoops. I forgot to do this. I totally forgot to kill the mini-boss. So let's go do that. Let's not do stupid stuff like that.
Everybody say hi to Sans.
Yeah, check this sick Megalovania remix.
After he opened shop in Deltarune, he came to Eagle's Tower.
Is that the lore?
It's the lore now.
Damn. I wish I had your power. Okay, so now that we've remembered to kill the mini-boss, let's go back and actually proceed with what we were doing with this ball.
Back to our regularly scheduled dungeon.
Ooh! That's rare.
Oh,
That's very rare.
that's a very sick slash.
That does not happen. I swear that does not happen. It's like actually super rare. Run is blessed. As if.
To answer the question in chat from Math Hacker, is Sans Master Stalfos' brother? Well, first, I don't know who Master Stalfos is, but yes, Sans is Papyrus' brother. Papyrus is in D5.
Look, all I'm saying is that I can get behind the Sans talk, but Papyrus, I just don't see it.
I mean, you fight Papyrus 4 times in Pacifist. You fight Master Stalfos 4 times in
we've
D5.
been over this. We have been over this.
It can't be a coincidence, my friend.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can.
No, not at all. There's no such thing as a coincidence. There's just pure facts.
Yeah, the facts are that you're wrong.
So coming up here is where we have the Marin cutscene skip.
Hey, we did it. We skipped the Marin cutscene. But yeah, that's where it would have played if we had finished Dungeon 7. Ugh, nice. Thanks, Keys. Okay, so we're on our way to Dungeon 8.
I think you're by yourself here. I got everybody in SpeedGaming's chat saying that Master Stalfos is Papyrus.
I've never seen a bigger group of wrong people. All in one place.
You heard it here, folks. Denial at its finest.
Alright, so we actually did need the mirror shield to get past that flame. In Gltchless, it is the only way to do that. So now we get to perform more necromancy and wake up this sleeping rock turtle. That's actually not a rock turtle, it's just a turtle inside a rock. Maybe that's why they call it Turtle Rock. It really makes you think. And so now, here we have a Pokemon battle starting. As dictated by the music.
I think you had a misequipped.
And the Rooster is here too.
You equipped it like 80% route.
Say that again?
I think you made your equips like 80%.
No. It's better to powder Vire on the first pass through.
Okay.
It saves an equip. So like, I actually have Feather and Powder equipped here, so that I can powder Vire, and the doors open, and the doors will stay open on my next pass through. So, like, what that does is, like, ordinarily I would just be equipping the Feather just to have the Feather equipped, and I really wouldn't have any use for another item, but now I do. That's how you save an equip. We're gonna save another one a little bit here. In other words, by saving an equip, I just mean like we're saving a second, essentially. But we're gonna save an equip by doing something actually pretty cool. So we'll see if I can pull it off. So see how I have arrows equipped right now? If I fire an arrow and then immediately pause, equip bombs over the arrows, and then fire a bomb, it'll fire a bomb arrow. And if I do that twice, I can save an equip, because otherwise I'd have to menu 3 different times for like bomb arrows and then a feather and then bomb arrows again. So that's 3 equips, but by doing this, I can save 1.
We do have a $5 donation from 180 Enforcer. 180 Enforcer. It says, good luck in the final stretch. Also, I vote to save the animals. Thank you for that donation.
So we're gonna get our some extra arrow pickups here. There's one. Get out of my way, Fire. There's another one. So that particular arrow pickup is
purely for the cue ball fight.
Yeah, cue ball and eagle.
Yep.
Because we do fight eagle in this category. But yeah, getting those arrows is still faster than dying a second time to the shopkeeper and then going in and buying some more arrows. Which is why our arrow route is so tight throughout the run.
So coming up is one sub-boss you will see in a couple of categories, No Hinox Warp and Glitchless. Any percent does not fight Blano. They also did make a change to this fight from LA and LADX. Blano actually doesn't knock you to the beginning of the dungeon anymore with a super uppercut. Blano can now only, 6 stun lock. Blano can only now just knock you one screen up, I believe.
I actually didn't know that. I thought he still knocked you to the start.
I don't think I've ever seen him knock you to the start.
Know. I actually have no idea.
I've been punched numerous times, but...
I mean, he has different types of punches. He has, like, the short jab, the mid-range punch, and then, like, the long punch, where that might send you back. I'm not positive. So here's another really quick mini-boss fight. You just kind of stand there and use the boots, and he's dead. Whoops.
I agree with what's going on with chat. This is a speed run marathon. I don't understand why we're saving the animals and not the frames. But
yeah, I agree. If it weren't a speed run, if it were a casual playthrough, like, absolutely have a heart, save the animals. But speedrunners have no heart. Don't save the animals. Save the frames. I'm just kidding. Donate for what you want. It's a charity marathon. Donate for what you want. Keep it close. And thank you for all the donations coming in, by the way, for No Kid Hungry. Like, you guys are awesome. Yeah, so we just kind of keep cue ball in place there by firing an arrow, and then the last hit is just get up close range. Just a little closer to the door that way.
yeah, it's a lot easier in this fight because you don't have a giant rock in front of you blocking your movement, so you can just kind of freely fire arrows at cue ball.
It's not like we have enough arrows in the first place in the first bit. But yeah, it's a nice notion to be able to, like, just kind of fire arrows at will. And I just noticed my arrow count. I have, like, an absurd amount of arrows right now because I went out of my way to, like, save a bunch.
That just means your eagle fight's just gonna have nothing but gusts.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we're gonna have 8 extra arrows for eagle. Because we want to leave Dungeon 7, we want to leave that fight with at least 11 arrows. In fact, since this is a marathon, I probably want to leave with 1 more. I'll probably leave with 12.
You can always show them the skew. It's always fun, right?
Well, I could show them the skew. In the D4 skew?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. That's awful. I had to do that once recently. It was not fun. Speaking of not fun, here's a boss. So this is Hothead, also known as Hitskoff. He is very RNG heavy in his patterns. We managed to catch him on the first pass through there. Missed him. Yeah. This is probably my least favorite boss, besides for Genie.
At least it's not LA Hothead. Where,
okay.
You take a hit from LA and he hits you for like 4 hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, in this game he only hits you for 1 heart, which is nice. Whoops. I can equip things.
I think you really wanted to listen to
I just really want to listen to Mamu's song again. The Frog Song of Soul.
So from here we're gonna utilize that warp that we dug up right before Dungeon 7. And we're gonna go to Dungeon 7, finish Dungeon 7, and we're gonna drop down and take care of Dungeon 4, and then we'll be on our way.
Okay. Whatever you say, Ice.
Yeah.
Your wish is my command.
I'm actually sending Tej like a detailed list of routes.
Yeah, he's telling me what to do in DMs right now. And I'm just like, yeah.
All the DM says is go to the library, read the book.
I'm not reading those though. So my health is a little low, so instead of farming a bunch of hearts here, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the heart piece that's in the water outside Dungeon 7.
So
after this fight.
Chat, how many swoops or how many gusts do you think Tej is going to get in this fight?
There's only one correct answer here.
I think there's 3.
There's only one correct answer, and it's 10. 10 straight.
Also, Sans Undertale, everybody.
Yes. So arrows really help with this fight, especially at the start. And there's a gust attack, so we're just gonna climb down and reset the cycle. Which actually was just recently found to be a thing, by the way. Okay.
Is that 2?
That's not the worst fight ever, but like still 2 unhittable attacks is kinda
You know, instead of collecting the heart piece, you could have just collected the heart container.
Nah. I think this heart piece is still faster to get. Like, by a very slim margin. Okay, so remember that we didn't finish Dungeon 4? We're gonna go do that right now. And we won't have to deal with the ghost at all.
Are we doing the thing?
Yeah, we're doing the thing.
Okay.
So, at this boss fight, Ice and I read your wishes, and we're gonna go ahead and read German at the boss fight.
German. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's German.
You'll have to do it a little delayed because remember I'm like 4 or 5 seconds behind you.
Oh, I can count down. Ugh. I'll count down from 3 when I get to it.
Okay.
So, fun fact though about that particular puzzle that I just magically solved without knowing the solution. So remember how we said that the egg path at the end of the game is tied to the RNG of the file that we manipulated? So that particular puzzle, the order of it, should be different every time, but it's not because that puzzle is also tied to the same RNG. I want that, actually. That'll work. Also, that jump is pretty simple. Siri, shut up. All right, I'll count down. I'll count down from 3. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Blubber, blubber.
Blubber, blubber.
Blub, blub, blub.
Blub, blub.
Fudder.
Fudder.
Blub. Blubber, blubber.
The blubber.
Piranha killer.
Piranha killer. That's our best impersonation of German. Sorry in advance.
And that is Piranha killer. Yes, he does literally nothing in that fight. If you have Piece of Power. Piece of Power, like, provides for a pretty effective stun lock on him. He just doesn't know what to do. He's like, this guy's glowing red. I'm out.
See color?
Can fish see color? Are fish colorblind? I don't even know. I have no idea. My my knowledge of my knowledge of animal biology is not that extensive. Fodder.
Fudder.
I think it's actually pronounced like fooder, but no, fodder. That's
Fudder.
Alright, so now that we've done Dungeon 4, we have all the instruments, and we can go straight to the Windfish Egg.
Look, my favorite German word is piranha killer, okay? Wee man.
We man. Oh my god.
We do have a $10 donation from Game Show GB. Chef says, read the books. Thanks for the $10.
I mean, to be fair, we are going to finish this run a pretty significant amount under estimate.
Could always go back and read the book.
What's the donation total at right now?
17,269.
If we get to 17,500 by the end of this run, I'll read a book in German in the library. After the run.
Let me go get
German.
my wallet quick.
So if you, I ran this game. I ran any percent for this game at AGDQ, 2020, and people in fact donated for me to read a book in German, and I tried my best. But let's just say I tried my best.
You heard it here, folks.
17,500.
If we get another $231 before he finishes off Death Eye, he will go back and read a book in German.
I give you my word. Alright, so once again, this egg path is predetermined. So I know exactly where I'm going in the egg, despite having never read the book in the library. Especially not in German. Of which way to go here. So it's going to be really dark. But no worries, I know exactly where I'm going. If we reach 18,000, I'll do 2 books. Alright, here we go. So this fight is very RNG heavy, especially the, actually, there are really only 2 RNG phases. That's Aghanim. He returns from Link to the Past to wreak havoc on our speedrun times once again. And also the Death Eye phase at the end. He can just kind of choose to open his eye whenever he wants.
So a fun fact about Aghanim in this one. So the first attack is always guaranteed, the fireball. And then his next set of attacks is, so if you ever see 3 of the same attacks, so if you see 3 blue balls or if you see 3 fireballs, the 4th attack that he launches will be the opposite. So you can always guarantee, you're guaranteed to have, I think, a maximum of 9.
Yes. Which has happened before. To me. And we got 3 regular balls right off the bat, so this one's guaranteed to be a blue ball. Oh, I got hit by it. Whoops. Well, we got one blue ball. That's the best RNG possible. This is Moldorm. You can just kind of stun up him, and he doesn't really move. Oh, unless he does that. Okay, so this is actually really important. I need to do this quick kill, only taking 1 heart of damage, and we got it. Okay. So we made this a little more dicey than we needed to. Okay. I did not intend to have 1 heart finishing this fight.
Yeah, you gotta play a little safe here. So yeah, this form it's pure RNG on when
My
that
God.
like opening his eyes. But Tej is actually getting some incredible luck here.
Yeah, that, like, those first 4 phases were probably the quickest I've ever seen them open. And time is going to come up as soon as the screen goes black after I go up the ladder. It's going to clock in at like a lowish 141.
Very solid run for a marathon.
And there we go. Awesome, that's time. That's not that bad considering I lost like over a minute to the Trinity game. Remember that?
Yeah, that was actually a really good run. GG's.
I'm really happy with that. So what's the donation total at?
Still at 269.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to do that another day. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting such a good cause. Thanks for allowing me to be a part of this marathon twice even. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Ice Blue, for the commentary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure everybody, if you're planning on donating, get those donations in for Super Metroid. And yeah, let's keep these donations coming for this really awesome cause.
And also thanks to SpeedGaming and to Feasel for putting this on.